Okay, well, this installment will probably have to be called The Evolution of a Design. Let's see, one of the changes so far is in this necklace. I thought that I would use this piece down here and use it as the focal point, but this design is for my mom, and she usually doesn't like wearing large jewelry, so I don't know, after looking at it a bunch of times and going back and forth, I was questioning it too much to keep it in the design, so that is now gone. Another thing that's gone is I originally thought that I would use these ribbons and have them interlaced through the pearls, the freshwater pearls, and I did try it a few times, did a couple of different ways, using less ribbon. No matter what I did, the ribbons hid the freshwater pearls and the mother of pearl beads too much, and it just took away from the original simple beauty of the piece. So that is not going to happen now. So then I got down to this, and I had some challenges on intersecting at these shell donuts or hoops. So I finally, after a couple of different approaches, I eventually did a crossover by leading up on this thinner strand, feeding it into the bottom hole on this shell. If you recall from before, this bead has holes on opposite ends here and here. So I fed the one string up through the bottom hole and then led out from there, and then I fed the larger string from underneath into the top hole and continued on from there. So the two strands are not struggling for the same space inside this hoop, and I really didn't want to have any exposed wire in the hoop. I don't like that look at all, and yet I didn't want these two strands just coming out of here in a bulky way. So now they're really nice and smooth, and they actually accommodate this crossover thing that I like to continue with in this design. And ultimately what I intend to do is to cross over this smaller strand, twist it to the top. So temporarily, and actually I think I'm actually set on the next part of the design, is instead of that big focal point, I wanted to hang something. It seems like it really needed it. So so I used this little bead cap, and I used a another mother of pearl bead there, and I left room for dangling something from it because I would like to leave that open. I wanted the design options to stay open. So I did try a couple of different things. Everything seemed too bulky, seemed too big, anything that I thought to hang here. And what I ended up doing was I woke up this morning and I had the idea to do the birthstone idea. This is a Mother's Day gift, and I thought it would be really nice if I had some crystals in the correct colors relating to the birthday month stones for each of the kids, and there are 6 of us. So I have 2 Julys, which are rubies, and I eventually found these beads Let's see, and then we have 3 of us in November, and so uh, there's this is actually citrine. It, I don't want to use the topaz. Actually, I don't. Maybe there, I know there are many shades of topaz, but typically if you get a topaz uh, stone, it's a little, has more of that orange, deeper gold orange kind of tone to it. So anyway, so I'm using the citrine because it looks nicer with the piece, but I think it's a nice representation of that birthstone. And then for a sapphire, I do have a blue Swarovski crystal. So some of these, we have a crystal, we have some semi-precious or precious, I don't know what they, I guess, I don't know what category citrine is in. And then these are glass beads, and I love glass beads because, it's such a simple thing, and some people kind of don't like it because it's not a precious stone, but I love glass beads, and I use them often, so I have no problem using them in this design, and especially I tried larger red stones in here, and everything looked overpowering. This piece, all of these beads, there's no tone of red in here at all. Everything's cool colors. And so I ended up with these simple square beads, but they have that red foil in the channel inside, and I love actually that there's a straight line of red here instead of a round bead. It's a nice contrast too to the other ones that are hanging here. So I'm going to hang these probably, I don't want them all at the same level. I would like them to hang pretty much in this gathering like they are right now. So I will use a chain, hang a chain from the center, silver chain, and I'll attach these to that to get that nice draping. And then the other thing that I came across was, when you don't own a bead store and you don't live right near a bead store or a craft store such as a Michael's or something, you try to pick up the pieces, the beads, and the items that you like when you're at the store, hoping that when it comes time to it and you're designing something, you have enough in your collection that you can create a piece that you would like to create without knowing beforehand what you need. So I was trying to work with what I had, and what I had was a lot of these seed beads. I didn't have enough of these freshwater pearls, the smaller set here. I've used them all up in this design, and I wanted to continue on with the thin strand and go thinner. I actually intended to go thinner and hopefully use my seed beads. Now I had seed beads that were in this shade of, there's a purple, which would go with this freshwater pearl shade of violet, and I had bluish ones that seemed to go with this blue, almost teal shade. And then all I had for the neutral color was this, well, they're sort of bronze-ish, maybe even verging on copper, and actually as soon as I assembled this, they certainly looked more copper than bronze, and I kept on trying to convince myself that this was going to work, and that it was good enough, but this is for my mom, and so it's not good enough, and it never is good enough. If I keep on staring at something that I don't like in a design, I just, it's time to disassemble it and try something new. So it occurred to me that I had these round crimps. I tend to use the tube crimps, and these are the round ones. For whatever reason, I just don't like the way they crimp and the way they look when they crimp. But they are they're circular just like the seed beads are, and they have a softness to them because there's a few lines, a pattern in the outside. So it's a dulled kind of a silver. So I ended up, instead of letting these sit in the tray unused, I ended up using them as seed beads. And so now what I've got is a combination of the purples, the bluish seed beads, and then I've got the crimp beads acting as seed beads here. And I love this now. I think that's exactly what I would have hoped for. This part will be going around the back of the neck, and it's not a focal point. It doesn't have to be exactly what the ones are in front, but it certainly looks a lot nicer, and certainly resembles the larger portion of the strand. So this will be twisted, and I think it's going to be very nice. Just have a little something like that. I think that's going to look lovely. So that is how this design is evolving. This is pretty close to what it will be in the end, and next video is probably going to be the final product. So if there is a video, it might just be a photo. Alright, well, thank you for watching this, and the design process, it's nice to have the nice music playing, and it's nice to have the time to think about the person for whom you're making the piece, and in that way you incorporate a little love in your design, and to me that's what it's all about. Have a great day, everyone, and this is past Mother's Day, but happy Mother's Day, everyone.